All right, back up. 1, 2, 3. Ha! All right, so it's coming together pretty good. Last night I came up and stained these frames that I made. They're nice and dry. So I'll go ahead and put a bead of glue on the back side of them. And I'll staple them with little brads to hold them in place. And then I'll screw them from the back side. Okay, now I'm working on the second drawer. So I just took a block of wood and drew a real nice light line right there. And that's in about 1/4 of an inch. These are all about the same. Doesn't matter which one's the top or bottom. So I know my side to side. So I cut these 2 blocks. And that'll position that pretty easily right there, showing my line. Now I know that this is stacked and it'll look nice and straight. After I glue it, we'll go ahead and put that on. Here's one right here. You can barely even see it. That's why I'm using that nail gun. Now there's no strength there. I could very easily pull that right off, but it'll hold it long enough to get the screws in. Okay, so that's the 4 big drawers all attached. So they all go nice and smooth. So now I'll put a knob on, probably like right here, to grab it and open it. Okay. So now I'm going to make these faces, and they're just going to be a square, or not a square, rectangle, solid. I'm not going to do the picture framing on it. So we'll get these made, and then we'll start with the trim work around the sides. Coming together. And it's about 0 degrees out this morning, so I don't mind being in here at all. This is how I relax in the winter time. I may have an issue buying tools. My wife thinks I have a problem, but I mean, really, we could spend thousands of dollars in therapy, or we could just work through it. So I had these 2 pieces of rough cut. So I just run my straight edge up, putting everything in line. A little pencil mark right here. My 2 spacers again, same as here. I want this space the same as this space. And I can run this right up, and there's my cut. So I'll cut this to length, same as before. I'll rip it, spin it, biscuit it, and then I'll cut it to the width. Okay, so I took these out of the clamps this morning and ran them through the planer down there. So now I just put my blocking in for my spacing, ran a straight edge up the side, And I'll just cut it a little bit big, and then I can sand it down to the right width. Okay, all my drawers are on and done. Solid face up top. And then the panels down below. Bottom. Sorry about that. So what I need to do now, I put plywood here as a spacer. I'm just going to iron on a veneer on these sections right here. And then when I put my trim on it, you only see a tiny little bit of it. You'll probably see a 1/4 inch right here. But I don't want to see that plywood in there. So you're not going to see much. But we don't want to see that plywood in there. I'm about out of time right now. I have to go to work a little bit. It's moving along good. I have about 5 days wrapped up in this right now. And each time I'm working on it, I'm probably here an hour to 2 hours. So once I get my trim on the sides and bottom, I'll go ahead and make the top and give it a staining. All right, Caleb and I are up here at the garage. We're going to put these veneer strips on right here. On the bookcase. And this will take care of these corners. So I just cut these to length. I have to cut another short one for up here. And all you do is you cut them with a pair of scissors. Just line it up. Then you go with scissors, you want to cut it? Cut it right there for me, okay? Ready, squeeze. There we go, perfect. Okay.
Can I see what they also those are like smooth paper. They're almost like cardboard board, but cardboard's thicker than that. It's just smooth paper. Kind of wood, but it's actually.
Okay, I'm going to try and do it with the drawers in, and if they get in my way, I'll just pop them out. So these are pre-glued veneer strips. Just put them right over top of that end of the plywood. Like that. And iron it right in. And that melts the glue. It's a real quick process. Okay, here's one side all done. This is the trim that Caleb and I came up with. You can see how, excuse me, the veneer, you only see a tiny small portion of that, but I wanted to cover up that plywood right there. So with the drawers closed, it looks real nice and clean in there. And we just picture framed this. This is the side, this will be up against the wall. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing on this side, covering up this with our 2-inch, and then picture framing it with 1-inch sides and 2-inch at the bottom. It's coming together nice. Okay, so there's the sides all done. I don't know if I explained why I chose to stain these trim boards. I don't want to stain this, so now this is all stained and I don't have to worry about staining this when keeping that nice and clean. I wanted these drawers to be a nice bright color inside here. So I did all of this, and then I stained the back sides of these drawers. I can't remember if I videoed that or not, but it's all stained and ready to go. So now I'll bring it down here, and all we have to do is make the top. Okay, so I got the top cut to the right size that I want. I made a rabbet in the back. I held my plywood up a little bit in the back. Now I can join these two together. Just makes it a little bit stronger. And I brought it out even with my front stile. And lastly, I'll cut some trim boards to go around the perimeter. Across here. So 3 of them. I won't do the wall side. We'll leave that go. So just 1, 2, 3 trim boards on there, and we are done. Ready to clear out the bottom of the garage, and I'll do the staining in the ceiling down there where there's more room. Not bad for a Sunday mid-morning. Caleb and I are going to head down and get some hot chocolate now. I'm getting ready to attach the top, and the screws I want to use are 1.5 inches, and it's a pretty nice aggressive thread. But if I run these in tight, it's just going to poke through the top. So I'll put a washer on it, and that'll help a little bit, but it's still really close to being right there. So I took 4 screws down to the grinder, and I just flattened the heads off a little bit. So now when I put them through a washer, I'll be coming up about 1/8 of an inch shy of the top. So I won't have to worry about bubbling or coming out of the top surface of the counter. So I'll go ahead and get that attached. So I made my corner bracing nice and big inside of here so that I can just run a screw right up through each corner bracing and attach. Real simple. So the only thing I have left to do is attach this trim around the front. And I'm just going to do that with biscuits. No nails, biscuits and glue. So I put all my marks where I want them. I'll go ahead and make the plunge and get it glued and clamped. So it's still pretty cold outside. Before I head to work, I just come up to the garage a little bit early. I'm going to take these clamps off and get this sanded so we can get this stained. I want to get it stained today and lacquered. Probably not tonight, but tomorrow morning. I want to get it lacquered and get it out of here. We got to move on to the next project. So just go ahead and take these clamps off. Okay, so I got it all sanded, and I just took a blowgun and blew all the dust off it. So I just put some back on it. I just mixed up my Minwax Provincial stain. Final steps. I don't know if I talked about it yesterday. Whenever I did all these face boards, I didn't do any staples or nails in the front. I shot everything from the side, and then I shot these boards on from behind here. So nothing needs touched up on the front. There's a close-up of it, all nice and stained. Will give us probably 24 hours to dry real good. And then I'll get probably two coats of lacquer on it. I think it turned out pretty good. Okay, so I'm in the final steps of this woodworking project. I just have to attach these couple of knobs. So a quick layout. I found center 21 3/4. So pretty simple. 10 1/2, 10 3/4, 10 5/8. 10 5/8 is center. I come back 2 inches and forward 2 inches. Find center this way, same way. And I just put a little tiny pencil mark. And I take my spring-loaded center punch and I mark them. That way whenever I go to drill, the drill bit doesn't slide. You can punch a nice little hole through that real quick and easy. So just a nice small, this is like an 1/8 inch drill bit. Just go in nice and easy. Don't force it. Do a quick switch. This is just a little bit bigger than my screw. Again, just drill nice and easy. Very, very little down pressure. And you just go ahead and line those up. Look good. Okay. There it is, all completed. I just put the last handle on. All done. Now I can fill it up with all my work clothes and TSH Concrete with the Hosses shirts. Fun little project. Actually, turned out pretty good. So all the drawers go nice and smooth. Got those soft close rollers. All right, on to the next project.